Yo, what's good, everybody? It's the Scholar Dio, and I'm here with the UFC 213 analysis slash predictions. I'm gonna do these five fights on the main card. Now, the first fight we have Anthony Pettis versus Jim Miller. We have Anthony Pettis. He's coming back from his stint at 145. Trying to make another run at that 155 belt. And you have Jim Miller. He is a perennial veteran at 155. He's always in that fringe top 15 level. You know, I feel like this fight is gonna mostly take place on the feet. I feel like Anthony Pettis' his takedown defense is good enough to keep it on the feet. And I see it. I see it mostly contested on the feet. Now, Anthony Pettis, he's susceptible to fighters who have a high pressure style. That stay in his face, don't give him time to set up them devastating kicks. And you have Jim Miller. Every fight Jim Miller is in, it's gonna be an exciting fight because he's always in wars. But I feel like Anthony Pettis is gonna take this one. I think he's just more polished on the feet, and he'll just be a step ahead. I feel like it's gonna go to a decision. I feel like Jim Miller is tough enough, and I feel like Anthony Pettis will win this by decision. Now the next fight we got is Fabricio Werdum versus Alistair Overeem. Now this is the third time these guys are fighting. The series is 1-1. Fabricio beat Alistair in Pride, and Alistair beat Fabricio in Strikeforce. Now these are number 1 and number 3 ranked fighters in their division, and the winner of this fight, they're probably gonna try to call out Stipe for sure. This fight, I see it taking place on the feet again. You know, it's gonna be a striking match, and Fabricio, he's come a long way with his striking. Like he's a pretty good striker now. Alistair Overeem, he has elite striking. He can KO you with any limb. But the X factor is always Alistair's chin, because if somebody touch that chin one time, man, he gonna be on Queer Street. I see this fight, I see it being a striking match, but I see Alistair Overeem taking it. Fabricio, he's a good striker, but he doesn't have a lot of that one punch knockout power. And I feel like Alistair, he's gonna fight smartly, and he probably can finish Fabricio on the feet, because Alistair, he's pretty devastating with the strikes. So it'll be a tough fight, but I'm gonna say Alistair possibly by finish. Now the next fight is Daniel Oleanlanchik versus Curtis Blaydes. Now you had Daniel Oleanlanchik. I don't really see no area expertise in his style. Like, he's tough. Majority of his wins is by submission though. But he's facing a tough wrestler in Curtis Blaydes. Very tough, very powerful, very athletic. I see Curtis Blaydes pretty much handling Daniel Oleanlanchik. I see him pretty much handling him with his wrestling. I think he's better everywhere, really. He can. I see him. I just see him. Yeah, I see him taking him out. Probably first, second round, probably. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Curtis Blaydes on this one. Now the next fight, the interim middleweight championship fight between Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker. Now this is gonna be the most intriguing fight on the card for me. You have Yoel Romero, man, just a super athlete, super explosive. And you have Robert Whittaker, man. Robert Whittaker, devastating striker, very poised, incredible takedown defense. Now you have an Olympic silver medalist against Robert Whittaker with a 91% takedown defense rate. So this is gonna be interesting. I think Yoel can take him down, but I don't really see him controlling Robert Whittaker. I feel like Robert Whittaker, his defense is too strong. So I see, even if he gets him down, it'll only be momentarily. So I predict most of this fight will take place on the feet, and I think Robert Whittaker is gonna win this fight. I predict Robert Whittaker will probably get the knockout in the second round. I think that he's a better striker. I feel like his pace is gonna be much higher. His gas tank is gonna be better, and I think Robert Whittaker is gonna take this one. But you can't count on Yoel because Yoel is super explosive. He can. And both of these fighters, I don't see this fight going 5 rounds. I see somebody getting knocked out in this fight. They're both very explosive fighters. But I'm gonna have to go with Robert Whittaker. Second round TKO. Now the main event: Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko. The rematch for the women's bantamweight championship. Now, in the first fight, Amanda Nunes, she took the first 2 rounds, but then she gassed, and Valentina Shevchenko took the third round. That's what makes this fight interesting, because Valentina won the third round, and now this is a 5-round fight. So, if that first fight was 5 rounds, would Valentina have won? That's the question we are gonna have answered. But you have Amanda Nunes, who's a very powerful striker. Very powerful striker. She's very good on the ground as well. And you have Shevchenko, who's also a really talented striker and also really good on the ground as well. I see this fight being slightly different from the first fight. I believe this fight, it'll probably be a slower paced fight. And I still see Amanda probably gassing in the later rounds, but I think she's going to do work in the first 3 rounds. I predict she's gonna do work in the first 3 rounds. I don't see Valentina finishing her. I feel like the only way Valentina's gonna win is if she finishes her. I see Amanda being more patient and managing her gas tank better in this fight. And I see her taking the first 3 rounds. I feel like Valentina, like she doesn't like to lead in fights. She's a counter striker. She likes to sit back and wait for her opponent. Unless she's behind on the card, and that's what happened last fight in that third round. But I predict it's gonna be too little, too late. So I predict Amanda Nunes by unanimous decision. I think this fight is gonna go all 5 rounds. But Amanda, she could gas hard, and Valentina can perhaps finish her. So it's gonna be interesting. So y'all can go ahead and comment below. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all can like this. Subscribe. I'll be doing more in the future.